All right. Morning, folks. Hang on a minute. Whew. All right. Quick update. The Star Adventurer Pro was a no-go. I was really, really hoping on it wouldn't be so wiggly, but not to my surprise, it was. And it just takes just a little bit of wind to just a breeze with a really light scope on it and everything. I mean, 4 pounds tops. I'm going to weigh everything here in a little bit, but I swapped it up. Um, okay, the pros are I got renewed sense of the program, all of that, polar alignment, um, all of that. All of 2024, we didn't do well. We had the new scope out 3 times. The first time was during the day. I did a bunch of solar photography, and then proceeded to snap my wrist, literally, and that put me out of commission for a few months. To where I really could get, I couldn't move it. My hand was like stuck. I'd say it was stuck like that for, God, a few weeks before I could even like really even move my fingers. And then yeah, that was a few months. And then like almost a month to get any kind of strength back into it where I could hold it. I wasn't going to take the brand new $450 scope out and drop it on the ground. Just wasn't doing it. And the whole thing was I could barely put any, I couldn't really hold anything. I could carry stuff, one-handed. But as far as putting the mount onto the tripod, this whole unit was like useless, and I'm right-handed. Anyway, so I went out. It's too freaking cold out. My knees just are. And the thing is, I didn't even notice they were popping. I've been using my elliptical. I'm trying to knock some pounds off. Um, and for the whole astro-prospecting, I just, seems like I walk, a really short distance, and I'm like, God, I'm really out of shape. And if I intend to put that monster out, I got to be able to, so I figure I'm going to work with the small stuff to begin with, exercise every day, do my calisthenics, get back and drop this poundage and then build my wind, and I'll be good. Anyway, um, that's why I'm kind of winded right now. But the elliptical, I was like, wow, these handles in there got sponge grip. I'm like, holy mackerel, these things are freaking cold. I can't do this. Man, I stepped off and I started to walk away, and my knees were going pop, pop, click, click, click. And I was like, and I felt them, and they were freaking ice cold. And I was like, oh, come on, dude. You can't do that. uh, my phone says it's 32 degrees out. It's cold out, but I like the cold weather, but man, I'm telling you guys, don't grow old, because man, everything starts to pop and click. And man, um, anyway, so I did take the Star Adventurer Pro out. It's not going to work. My wife wants me, well, I'm going to build a bracket to hold it so it's upright, eliminate that equatorial piece. I'm going to eliminate it, and she's going to give it a shot with the, I can't even think straight. My brain's froze. No, um, um, time lapse, the time lapse setup, for the panoramic and time lapse thing. Um, but I know if we put the mount the equatorial mounted and turn it at a 90 so the camera sits on it. That's going to put it off center, so the center of the tripod. And I think that's what the deal is with this thing, because that equatorial mount unit is absolutely spindly. You know, it's like putting a brick on a pencil. You know, it's almost, yeah, it's not cool. So I told her, well, I think we're going to take a hit on it. We might make 50% of our money that we spent on it back. And she's like, oh, it's probably not going to work for the time lapse. And I've never even got to try it yet. And a little light bulb went on in my head. Captain Fabricator. I was like, wait a minute. And she's like, you got an idea, huh? I'm like, yeah, I think I'm going to eliminate all that bottom piece and then just buy an L bracket. Or I think I might have one. And I know I have a disc. You know, it might be a 1/4 inch thick, like this big. I'm going to just center punch it, center drill it, and tap it to the correct thread so it'll thread on. And then I'm going to weld the L bracket right to it. So then we'll mount the motorized part, which is like the right ascension part. We're going to mount it so it's declination, motorized declination, and just bolt it on a thick L bracket. And then maybe just take the Dremel and just, or maybe just drill so I can, you know, that way, top of the tripod, everything will be centered on the center of the tripod and not doing this off the top of the tripod, you know, like that. So, because that piece at the bottom, that equatorial piece, you know, where you can get your right angle to aim at, at Polaris. That's the weak link in that chain. And I figure, well, what is it going to cost me? Maybe $15, maybe. You know, I have all the tools to do it. You know, drills, taps, welder. I might just even go over. I might have that bracket already, but I think I might just go over to the hardware store and find a nice big thick L bracket, like whatever, 6x6, or give or take how big the motor block is. And yeah, just go with that. Just go with an L bracket. And there we go. Use the same little 11 hook tripod. Center that disc. It might already be threaded though. I gotta go look for that today, along with a few other things. But yeah, and even my wrist. But anyway, it's just, this is like a quick update that Star Adventurer Pro didn't work, even with a 4-pound scope camera, the whole 9 yards. It just didn't. It's just real wiggly. So I figured it wasn't going to. I had actually made a dovetail adapter, kind of vamped a dovetail for a camera and a lens, and I thought, that's about 4 pounds, 3 pounds, 3.5 pounds, you know, depending on what lens. And I thought to myself, if it can't handle this, like, I forget what it is. I weighed it, but I didn't write it down. It's like 3 pounds, 14 ounces, so like 4 pounds with the red dot, the little Celestron camera, and the Maxo Top Cassegrain, the telescope, with the original 3-inch little dovetail. I took all the mounting rings. I stripped that scope down to where now it is the lightest scope I have. So, but yeah, it was it wasn't that it was depressing, I kinda right here in the back of my head, I knew, this thing is way too lightweight. Mm, when we first got it, like, in 2020, I think it was 2020, it might have been 2019, but I think it was 2020, and it's the 1st gen, it's before the, I or the 2i or the QVCI, XYZI, GTI, all that. It's the first one, and I thought, "Wow, this would be really, really cool if this works," and no way to find out. Nobody's gonna send me one and say, "Oh, yeah, here, try this out and see if you like it." That only happens to people that have a gigantic following and, the one young lady there, she actually requests, she says, "Yeah, could you, I'm blah, 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 blah." And, you know, I think sometimes they probably say, "Well," but I've seen she does reviews on a few things, so it works, but I'm just an old guy, calling himself an Astro-Prospector. I don't even think I got any followers or subscribers, or I ain't influencing nobody and I don't care kind of thing. Anyway, yeah, I thought I'd give you the update on that Star Adventurer Pro. Bad thing is I bought a little bit heavier counterweight. I put it in a really nice hard case, freaking hard case cost them freaking $100, something like that. 80, 90 something, almost $100. I bought other things to put on it, little adapters like the dovetail shoe and some other things. I'd say another, what, 150, maybe another $200 into the dang thing. And what was it, like 350, 360, something like that when I bought it. So I got like freaking $500 into it. And I have a sneaking suspicion that's going to be the most expensive time lapse machine that I've ever purchased. And you know what? I don't care. I laugh about it. I mean, because life isn't always, you know, peaches and cream. Sometimes you just gotta buy something and utilize it, use it, and then make your decision. Well, this could work. I've experimented with different size scopes, different weights, all kind of stuff with it. And I see a lot of people on YouTube saying, "Oh yeah, look, I did this." Well, I've been doing this for quite a while. I'd say 12 plus years, taking pictures of the night sky, the sun, the moon, well, the sun in the daytime solar photography. And I can't seem to figure out a scope light enough, or, I know I could make it work, but the thing is to make it work where it's not going to be um, susceptible to any kind of wind is I'm going to have to build a shed or something, or like a wind barricade kind of thing. Um, and if I start doing something like that, might as well just build a small observatory, you know. So anyway, that's my story. It's freaking cold out. Thanks for watching.